menghasilkan sampah dan sampah menghasilkan masalah. Sungai kita seharusnya dapat menjadi sumber penghidupan manusia, namun lebih dari 80%-nya tercemar. Tak hanya sungai, sumber mata air kita juga ikut tercemar. 4 dari 5 sumur di Jakarta sudah terkontaminasi dengan bakteri. Timbunan sampah di kota besar mencapai 1.000 sampai 6.000 ton per hari. Bagaimana kita menyiasati masalah ini? Unilever mengembangkan sistem bank sampah, sebuah sistem yang membantu Anda menjaga kebersihan lingkungan, bahkan dapat menguntungkan. Sistem bank sampah Unilever berfokus pada 3 hal: manusia, sistem yang terstandarisasi, dan pengembangan berkelanjutan. Mari kita pelajari cara membangun bank sampah. Kita mulai dengan mendekatkan warga terhadap konsep memilah dan mendaur ulang sampah. Perkenalkan sistem bank sampah. Cara kerja bank sampah. Dan bagaimana bank sampah bisa mendapatkan keuntungan dari sampah. Pelatihan teknis. Adakan pelatihan standarisasi sistem bank sampah. Pelatih membantu pembentukan divisi pemilahan, penyetoran, pendataan, pendistribusian sampah. Kita tentukan target keuntungan bank sampah dan sistem bagi hasilnya. Pelatihan ini diikuti oleh masyarakat dalam lingkup RT dan RW. Setelah tercapai kesepakatan untuk menjalankan sistem bank sampah, tentukan nama, lokasi, dan waktu menjalankannya. Pada tahap ini, sangat penting bagi kita untuk menentukan jadwal setor sampah, jenis dan berat minimum sampah yang disetor, jadwal penjemputan sampah, dan kapan nasabah dapat menarik hasilnya. Pelaksanaan bank sampah. Manajemen pertama-tama harus memiliki buku registrasi, mencatat nomor identitas dan data lengkap nasabah. Kedua, siapkan kasbook yang berisi informasi total sampah yang ada, rekapitulasi penjualan, dan nilai jual sampah. Berikut tipsnya agar sistem bank sampah dapat berjalan maksimal. Pemilahan sampah dimulai dari dalam rumah. Sampah dikemas yang rapi sesuai jenisnya. Bentuk kepengurusan sesuai standarisasi awal. Dengan pembagian tugas yang jelas, menciptakan stabilitas dalam sistem bank sampah. Tentukan jadwal setoran, pengumpulan, dan penjualan sampah. Tentukan jadwal pengambilan rutin oleh pengepul. Cari pengepul dengan harga beli stabil. Ini mempengaruhi keuangan bank sampah dan pendapatan nasabah. Tentukan jadwal pengambilan rutin pengepul. Nasabah juga harus memiliki buku yang berisi informasi penarikan, setoran, dan catatan transaksi. Inilah proses operasional bank sampah. Nasabah datang membawa sampah dan buku tabungannya. Pengurus menimbang dan mencatat sampah yang disetor, mengisi data sampah, jenis, berat, dan nilai rupiahnya ke dalam buku tabungan. Nasabah pulang menghitung penghasilannya berdasarkan catatan di buku tabungan pribadi. Evaluasi dan pengamatan. Adakan jadwal rutin untuk menghitung total pendapatan sampah, penjualan sampah, dan jumlah nasabah yang terdaftar. Dengan meningkatnya pendapatan, penjualan, dan nasabah, bank sampah pun akan naik kelasnya. Dengan pengelolaan keuangan yang matang, bank sampah berpotensi untuk dikembangkan menjadi berbagai usaha ekonomi. Beberapa kisah sukses bank sampah dengan pengembangan inovasinya adalah Bank Sampah PJHI di Balikpapan, Bank Sampah Malakasari di Jakarta, dan Bank Sampah Pelita Harapan di Makassar. Bank Sampah PJHI Balikpapan yang konsisten dan menciptakan strategi jitu untuk meraih kesuksesan. Salah satunya dibuktikan warga RT 50, Manggar, Balikpapan. Ketua RT Mariono mengembangkan dan mensosialisasikan bank sampah sejak tahun 2012. Tak hanya warga dewasa, para anak-anak juga terdidik untuk menjaga lingkungan. Kini, para warga pun merasakan manfaat dari pengembangan bank sampah berupa pengadaan mesin jahit dan pelatihan daur ulang sampah. Pak Prakoso bersama warga Malakasari, Jakarta, bergotong royong membangun lingkungan yang lebih baik dengan sistem bank sampah sejak tahun 2009. Kini tercatat ada 264 nasabah yang siap memilah dan menabung sampah. Bahkan, kini mereka membuat lubang biopori di lingkungan Malakasari. Bank Sampah Pelita Harapan di Makassar, di bawah pimpinan Ketua RT Patagiling, warga Balaparang, memiliki inisiatif tinggi untuk mengumpulkan sampah. Bank sampah yang berdiri sejak 2011 ini berhasil mengumpulkan sampah sebanyak 2 ton dan meraup keuntungan 6-8 juta per bulannya. Yayasan Unilever Indonesia pertama kali memperkenalkan sistem pilah sampah pada tahun 2001. Pada tahun 2008, proyek bank sampah mulai dijalankan secara efektif di berbagai daerah. Hingga saat ini, rata-rata setiap bulannya terkumpul 30 kg sampai 2 ton sampah per bulan dengan omset ratusan ribu sampai hampir 5 juta per bulan. Mari kita ciptakan lingkungan bersih dan sehat. Bersama Bank Sampah, partisipasi Anda, kami, bernilai bagi bumi kita dan generasi mendatang.
In 2012, Sweden began importing nearly 1 million tons of trash from its European neighbors. The Swedes claimed that they themselves simply did not produce enough trash and needed more. Only 4% of household waste is landfilled in Sweden each year, but why on earth would anybody want more trash? Why is Sweden buying trash from other countries? Well, in fact, the global waste market is estimated to be worth almost $500 billion a year. Shipping trash from country to country and burning massive amounts of fuel in the process is primarily an economic decision. Many countries and cities charge a landfill tax, which in some places can be as high as about $100 a ton. Instead, some choose to ship their trash elsewhere for considerably less money. In 2010, China imported more than 39 million tons of recyclable waste, most of it from European countries. But in the case of Sweden, it's actually less of a cost-saving measure and more of an energy-saving measure. Sweden buys trash from nearby countries like Norway and uses it for electricity. Over 2 million tons of that waste is burned and converted into power for over 250,000 homes. This sort of exchange is called waste to energy and is becoming increasingly popular in Europe. However, despite the cost savings and recycling benefits, WTE plants are not necessarily the best for the Earth. According to the Environmental Integrity Project, these plants can produce more pollutants than even coal-fired plants. In fact, issues with pollution from WTE plants have led China to actually stop accepting dirty and unsorted waste. They've also imposed stricter limits on polluting recycling plants. Buying each other's trash may sound kind of crazy, but it's actually an ingenious solution to issues with taxation and energy. Of course, when it's cheaper to send waste out of the country than simply deal with it at home, there may be a bigger problem at stake. Either way, we're going to need a lot more ingenious solutions like these because the world's population is rising, and thus so is our level of trash. Sweden may burn some of its trash, but the United States does not. Find out the reason why in this video by D-News.
If you're an average American, you were responsible for burying 880 pounds of trash in 2012. Is there something that garbage could be doing besides just sitting there? Sweden thinks so. About 1% of Swedish trash ends up in a landfill. The rest is almost evenly split between being recycled and burned for energy.
Thanks for watching our channel, everyone. Subscribe to TestTube News so you can keep up with new videos every day.
Each year, Joe Citizen discards more than half a ton of garbage. Everything from empty pizza boxes and eggshells to broken dishes, appliances, old tires, and the kitchen sink. Worldwide, that's almost 1 billion tons of stinking trash every year. And somehow, all of it needs to be either recycled or otherwise disposed of. So, how do they do it? It's 6 a.m. in the San Francisco Bay Area, and Mike Abate and his refuse-wrangling colleague John Fuston are starting their weekly garbage collection round. For most of us, remembering to put out our trash bins is the end of the story. But in fact, it's just the beginning of an extraordinary, epic journey. A few years ago, strong men had to wrangle your garbage into the back of their truck. These days, a robot arm takes over that duty. One truck for recyclables, another for the truly trashy. Thanks to these robotic refuse collectors, Mike and John can empty 600 bins every trip. And once they're full of trash, the trucks head for a delightful spot known as the Davis Street Transfer Center. Trucks carrying waste for recycling deposit their load here. To you and me, it just looks like rubbish. But to the discerning eye, there's gold in them there hills. Each truckload is worth hundreds of dollars, but no one is going to pay for it in its present state. First, these vast mountains of trash need to be separated into the various components of paper, metals, plastics, and glass. Doing that by hand would require a small army. So it's a good thing they have George Atrastane and a friendly garbage monster known as the Single Stream Recycling Facility.
It's pretty incredible. It's noisy, it's dirty, it's very unglamorous, but it's a fun place to be.
George's smelly monster is a state-of-the-art garbage sorting machine. Housed in a building that's barely 300 feet long, it contains almost a mile of conveyor belts. Constantly fed by loaders, it can sort over 300 tons of waste every day and relies on George to keep the wheels turning. First, high-power fans blast a jet of air through the trash, suspending lighter paper, metal, and plastic, leaving the heavier glass bottles to fall into a separate pile. Next, a steep conveyor bounces the garbage across a series of rubber wheels. This causes the light paper products to continue upwards, while heavier metals and plastics drop down onto yet another conveyor belt. Powerful electromagnets then whisk away anything made of metal, leaving behind the plastic and other materials. Unfortunately, that's where the machine runs out of tricks. A conveyor transports the remaining waste to a team of operatives who grade the plastic into various bins under George's eagle eye.
This is our container aisle, and it's a fun, noisy, very unglamorous place to be, but most of our staff actually prefer to be up here because the pace of work is brisk, and there's always a chance of finding someone else's nugget, something fun and exciting.
Once George and his team have finished having their fun, the waste must be prepared for sale and transportation, so it's fed into these high-powered baling machines, which turn everything into identically sized cubes. Each of these bales of paper is now worth around $200, while this bale of aluminum is worth almost 10 times as much. Thanks to their uniform shape, they can be easily lifted with standard forklifts and loaded onto trucks, which will carry them off to start a new life as a pizza box or a coffee cup. But of course, some garbage is just garbage. This stuff is no good to man or beast, so it's about to be sent down into a trashy hell from which nothing returns. This is what George and his chums call the pit. It's huge, it's noisy, and it stinks. It's as deep as a 4-story house and the size of a football field. Every week, this monstrous cavern swallows up the waste from over 1 million people. The garbage is heaped in at an extraordinary rate. But where does it go? Underneath the pit is a never-ending line of massive 18-wheeler trucks, which park beneath an opening, allowing a combination of bulldozers and grabbers to fill them up. No sooner has one truck been filled to the brim with stinking trash than another appears ready for loading. Each truck carries 5 times as much garbage as a dump truck. And once they've accepted their load, they head for the burial ground. "31 miles outside of San Francisco, the trucks finally arrive at the Altamont landfill site. Right now, it's like the barren landscape of some cold, unfriendly planet. But today's landfill is tomorrow's golf course. Stuck underground in various parts of California sits 1.2 billion tons of waste. The massive basin currently being filled has been lined with clay and a huge impermeable membrane made from high-density polyethylene and geotextile. This lining means each basin acts a bit like a giant plastic container, preventing the waste from contaminating the surrounding soil and water table. Almost half of this waste is organic material, like chicken legs and rotten tomatoes. And as it decomposes, it generates potentially explosive gases. What's more, any trapped air can cause potentially dangerous subsidence. So to remove the air and make the trash good to build on, it needs to be squashed. And that's a job for the lords of the landfill, a team of enormous bulldozers and compactors. With over 7,700 tons of waste arriving every day, they must work quickly. First up is the compactor. With a pressure of nearly 40 pounds per square inch, its 50-ton wheels act like giant rolling pins, crushing the waste into solid mass. Next, it's the bulldozer's turn. They cover the waste with a layer of soil and recycled car upholstery known as auto fluff, which helps to seal in the smell and deters scavenging animals. Finally, everything is covered with a permanent layer of soil. But that's not quite the end of the story, because even this buried waste is put to good use. As the rubbish rots, it gives off valuable methane gas, which is harvested by these wells, which are scattered across the site. The methane extracted feeds a gas turbine, which produces enough electricity to power over 6,500 homes. What's more, there is also a pilot project to turn some of the methane into liquid natural gas, which will eventually fuel the city's fleet of refuse trucks. So next time you leave your bins outside of the house for collection, take a moment to ponder the incredible journey it's about to take. And remember,